many guitars does a guitar player actually need? Now, I know that this is an age-old question that has, goofy jokes around it, like how many guitars does a guitar player need? Just one more. But at the same time, if we're talking about needs and not wants, there really truly might be an answer based on your context for how many guitars you actually need. And again, not want, but need. So we're gonna talk about this and we're gonna explore it through the Les Paul studio session that I've got here. I've had this guitar for a few months. You probably know it because, it's been out for a few months. Gibson released this at the end of 2024. It's a killer guitar. This is the translucent ebony Les Paul studio session. So this has got all the bells and whistles. And if you aren't familiar with the studio session, then you're probably familiar with the Les Paul studio. Gibson introduced the Les Paul studio in the 80s as a way to get you into a Les Paul. Maybe you couldn't afford the standard at the time, but what if we took off some of the bells and whistles? What if we removed some of the features so it's not quite as expensive and you get to get into a Les Paul? Well, that's what the studio was. Now, at the time of this video, a Les Paul standard is around $3,000, give or take. And then the Les Paul studio is around $2,000, give or take. And so you're getting a few less features than you would if you were to get into a standard. And that's how you get that price point, right? Even though this guitar is around $1,000 less than a standard, Gibson really didn't pull any punches on this new iteration. It's actually kind of incredible when you get down to what all of this guitar offers, in spite of it being a lesser model. Let's talk about the number of sounds that you're going to find in this guitar.
I'm clearly punching this in after the fact, but I was having a hard time wrapping my mind around how many configurations there were. So let's go through them. You've got 2 volumes, 2 tones, 2 coil taps, a phase, and a pure bypass. So you can only do phase in the middle position. Pure bypass is gonna bypass everything like it sounds like. And then both of these volumes are going to coil tap and split, effectively your pickups. So now let's go through all of the different sounds. So you've got so first of all, 1 in the bridge, 2 in the middle, 3 in the neck. You've got 3 so far. Then you've got bridge tapped, 4, middle bridge tapped, 5, middle neck tapped, 6, middle both tapped, 7, neck tapped, 8. We are at 8 right now. Now we're gonna go to the phase position. The phase position equals 9. Your pickups are now out of phase from each other. You can also coil tap while you're in phase. So 9, you can do 10 in the neck tapped, 11 in the bridge tapped, that's either or 12 with both tapped, which is really, really cool. Now we're gonna go to pure bypass. So let's go to the pure bypass position in the bridge. That's 13, keep that pure bypass there, 14 in the middle, 15 in the neck. Now we're gonna add coil tapping to the 15 in the bypass. So as we're here in the neck, that's 16 with the neck tapped. 17 with in the middle, the neck tap, that's 17. 18 with the bridge tap, that's either or. Now both of them, that's 19. And then 20 with the bridge tapped and pure bypass. This has 20 sounds. That took longer than I expected. I know this wasn't how I wanted to do it. I didn't want to punch in like this, but I had to. I could not make a video about this killer guitar and not tell you that there are just simply here 20 configurations. So much at the ready. All right, let's get back to it.
So let's talk about some of the sounds that you can achieve. So let's say that you want to do the single coil thing. You know, maybe you want to play like Jimi Hendrix. Go ahead and coil tap, and you're going to get some of those coil tap style Jimmy sounds. Maybe you want to play like Jimmy Page, well then you put it back here in the normal position, or maybe you want to play like Page in the phase position, like Peter Green in the phase position. You know, maybe you just are looking for a really warm single coil sound. You go up to the neck, you know, something a little jazzier. You know, if you're wanting a little jazzier hot, then back down. You know, like I said earlier with the idea of the pure bypass and just giving you a little more, it's going to be a little cleaner. It's going to feel a little cleaner with a little more sparkle on it. Same thing, like you're going to be able to play some funk. You're going to play some, you know, some pop, some jazz, some blues, some rock, and I'm saying some, but really you're going to be able to cover these things pretty efficiently. So, you know, what's your gig? If you're here in Nashville and you're playing on Broadway, then you need a tool that can cover different sounds and do whatever it is that you need it on command. If you're a church player and you're not in a spot where you can change guitars, or you don't have other guitars to take, or you need to be able to get into something a little more budget friendly and you're considering the Les Paul but you want options, this is it. You know, maybe you're going to the studio, or maybe you're tracking kind of like what I do a lot, and you need something different to help layer guitars and create distinction. I can't play my 335 on everything and expect it to sound different. So if I play my 335 as the main line, then I can come in here and throw this one out of phase and do the same thing, or you know, maybe it's too distinct and too weird, whatever. You get what I'm saying. My point is, regardless of however many guitars you need, I think the Les Paul Studio is your answer. It just goes and goes and goes, and you're really never lacking when it comes to this. So how many guitars does a guitar player need? I mean, I think you need one. So thanks for watching. If you want to find out more about this guitar, there's a link below. Go ahead and click that. It's going to take you to Gibson, and you can find your very own Les Paul Studio session there and the various finishes and offerings that they have. There's another one that's an affiliate link that you can click as well. It's going to take you to other places where I'll get paid a little commission. If you should buy one, please do that. That would be amazing. Thank you. Also, whatever you enjoyed about this video, comment below. What are some sounds that you want to hear? What are some things that you want to know? I'd love to get in some conversation with you and hear what you thought of this incredibly cool guitar. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. There's a lot of other things you could be doing right now. So thanks for spending it with me and the Les Paul Studio session. As always, and until next time, stay tuned.